We're going to be on pages 231 and page 232 in Language Book, Using Words Correctly today. It says using subjects and verbs correctly. Sometimes you may be unsure about which words are correct. Your teacher and parents have to correct you for using expressions like he don't. Here's mom and dad. Go lay down. Study this chapter, listen to good speakers, read good books, and speak good English. You will soon learn to use words correctly. Start by learning these simple rules for subject-verb agreement. We have learned that nouns and pronouns can be singular, meaning one, or plural, meaning more than one. Verbs can also be singular or plural. A singular subject takes a singular verb. Our teacher sings very well. Teacher is one, singular, and sings is also singular. Don't let it fool you. The verb sings has an S on the end. So the way that I used to think about this when I was learning this when I was young is I would think they call a singular verb whichever verb goes with that subject. And the way I learned it was I just learned if it's singular, there's a trick. I'm going to teach you a trick that makes it so much easier. If you know the correct pronoun to substitute and you say the verb, you'll get it right every single time. So you won't be confused. I mean, every single time. Even when it sounds weird, you'll still have it right if you go by that. So if you say the verb, okay, and you say, find your subject. If your subject is plural, use the pronoun substitution they. Wherever it is, just say they and then say the verb. Test it out. Whichever verb goes with they, if it's a plural subject, is going to be the correct verb. If it's singular and it's not a human, you could say it and you could say the verb. Replace your pronouns with the noun. Whatever pronoun would be appropriate to replace that noun with, just replace the pronoun. Replace it with the pronoun and say the verb, and it'll be correct every single time. That's the easiest way to remember it. But singular subjects go with singular verbs, and singular verbs usually have S's on them. So it's strange. It's not what you would think. So be careful, okay? And you can also remember that you're going to call a verb singular if it matches the singular subject. Whatever goes with that subject, we always use singular verbs and with singular subjects. So if my subject is singular, whatever verb I need is going to be called singular. A lot of them will have S's on them. Just beware, okay? So don't get confused. So let's look at the second paragraph. Let's go to the third. Well, it says the last sentence in the second paragraph says, start by learning these simple rules for subject-verb agreement. Now go to the third paragraph on page 231 in the blue box. It says, we have learned that nouns and pronouns can be singular or plural. Verbs can also be singular or plural. A singular subject takes a singular verb. Our teacher sings very well. Tyler is the fastest runner on the track team. A plural subject takes a plural verb. The choir members sing well. You'll notice that plural is members. It has more than one. But when we use the verb with it, it's members sing. And that's a plural verb without a S. Our boys, that's plural. Are is a plural verb. Boys are faster runners than the boys on the other team. The pronoun you always takes a plural verb. You are, you are. But we know that. We would hear it when we say it. We never say you is, do we? That's just weird. We never do that. So that should be easy to know. Now look closely. Let's look at the bottom. An S ending is often a sign of a singular verb and a sign of a plural subject. So runs is a singular verb, but dogs is a plural subject. When we write an S on the end of a noun, we plural it. But when we use S on the end of a verb, it's usually singular, meaning that it goes with the singular subject. That's what we mean. When we say singular verb, we just mean that's the verb you're going to use with the singular subject. Okay. The verbs am, is, was, has, and does are singular. Notice how all of them except am end in an S. All these end in an S. The verbs are, we, have, and do are plural. When a sentence contains a verb phrase, listen to this, this is important. When a sentence contains a verb phrase, it is the helping verb that must agree with the subject. The farmer is harvesting his crops. The cows are grazing in the pasture. We would not say the farmer are harvesting his crops. And we would not say the cows is grazing. We would not say that. So in the first sentence, the farmer is harvesting. You have farmer is one person, it's singular. You have a singular subject with a singular verb. And then the second one, the cows are grazing. We have a plural. Cows is more than one. A plural subject with a plural verb. Okay? Now, on page 232. Could you see her when she just got up? I was just wondering. You could not earlier?
No.
Okay, great. All right, page 232. Agreement of subject and verb, part 1. Think A. It says write singular in the blank if the following subjects and verbs are singular. Write plural if they are plural. So, on number 1, it says students recite. Remember, singular subjects are used with singular verbs, and plural subjects are used with plural verbs. So students recite. Is that plural or singular?
Plural.
Very good. Students is more than one. Students is more than one. Okay? So it's a plural subject, and plural verbs go with plural subjects. And plural verbs usually don't have an S on them. So that's plural. She says. She, how many people is she?
One.
So that's singular, right? And is it correct? She says, and it's a singular verb, right? We always use singular with singular, plural with plural. 3, friendship is. Friendship is. What is that?
Plural.
Friendship doesn't have an S on it. Friendship doesn't have an S on it. So friendship is singular. Singular is one of something. So friendship is would be singular relationship. Okay? Duck quacks. One duck. Come on, we got it. What's one duck? Singular. All right. He prays. He is one person, right? Singular. We sang. Plural. It's a group of people we're in. All right. Y'all know how to finish this exercise. Okay. Now let's look at the next directions on Think B. Think B says on notebook paper, make the singular subjects and verbs in Think A plural. And make the plural ones singular. So you're going to make them opposite. So on notebook paper, you're going to number your paper. You're going to say, Think B, God bless you. And you're going to number your paper 1 through 14. Think B 1 through 14. And instead of students recite, you're going to say student recites. Instead of she says, you're going to write they say. She is a girl. Plural is the group you're not going to assume you're in the group. So you're going to say they. Okay? All right. Now let's look at the directions for Think C. Write yes in the blank if the following subjects and verbs agree. Write no if they don't agree. Agree, that means you have to have a singular, you have to have the right verb with the subject. Basically, that's what that means. You need to be sure that if you're using a subject, you use the right verb with it. Okay? So let's look at pirates robs. Is pirates singular or plural?
Singular.
Pirates is more than one. It's a plural. So we need a plural verb, and plural verbs usually do not have the S's. Pirates, what should we have said?
Rob.
Pirates rob. So it's incorrect. So it says, do they agree? And the answer is no, they don't agree. That's a wrong subject verb together. On 2, he don't. What should they have said? He doesn't. So we're going to write no. They don't agree. It should have been he doesn't. Okay. And then on Think D, the exercise directions say, on notebook paper, write correctly all the subjects and verbs in Think C that do not agree. Change the verbs so that they will agree with the subjects. So on notebook paper, you're going to write Think D, and you're only going to use the numbering of those that say no from Think C. So if they did not agree on Think C, you're going to use that numbering system. So 1 did not agree, 2 did not agree. So you're going to write 1, 2. All of them are not going to be that they don't agree. There'll be some that do agree. So if it does agree, you just skip that and only do the numbering systems that do not agree. Okay? Do we all understand the directions?
Yes, ma'am.
We understand the directions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so go ahead and do that now, please. Thank you very much, sir, for operating that camera. Yeah, you can turn it off.